I don't think I ever talked in depth about my tattoos ever in my channel, so I decided to dedicate this whole video to be just about my tattoos and why I got them and why I decided to remove them. Hi guys, it's me Ashley and welcome back to my channel. If you are thinking of getting a tattoo sometime soon or if you're thinking of getting it removed, then this video is for you. Before we get to the whys, let's just get this timeline out of the way so that you guys can see when I got what, in what order. So, once I turned the legal age in New York to get a body art, I just went full out and got 4 in one sitting. You could say that I was a YOLOjo back then. My hormones were probably peaking. I was a junior then, so I was probably really excited to become a senior. And so I went full on out on a Thanksgiving trip to New York. I just walked into this tattoo parlor. It used to be in St. Mark's, but it's now gone. So just walk in, like there was no appointments or anything, and I just picked 4 things off of the internet and I got them tattooed permanently on my body. The second one was done for free because I got them done by my roommate and also my BFF back in my senior days in high school. Stick and pokes were like super popular. So my roommate, she actually got her supplies from Amazon. So she got those needles that you're supposed to plug it into the machine, but it's a stick and poke, so we just got the needle. She got the ink and the rubbing alcohol, everything that she needs, and she just did it in our room. Many people came in and out, and all my friend group, like all of the girls in my friend group, got at least 1 tattoo by her. And I always wanted to get finger tattoos like Rihanna. So I got the cross on my finger and then the triangle to kind of pave the way into becoming Asian Rihanna. Then I went to Korea for winter break and I got this flower tattoo and this praying hands tattoo, and I don't remember where it was because I honestly just found it off of Instagram and I just booked it and I went. Then it comes 2017. 2017 was just a rough year for me and I was a senior, so I was just really hyped about becoming a senior. I probably had senioritis and I was just excited to like graduate and go to college. So I got accepted to Parsons and I wanted to celebrate it by going to New York. I was actually touring the campus, and after the tour I had the reservation for the tattoo, and it was by a Korean artist who came to New York to do her tattooing, and I booked it on the day. I remember it being somewhere in Lower Manhattan, but I don't remember exactly where, and she was just like one of those visiting tattoo artists who came for like a month, I think, and then she just went right back. And before I graduated, I got this ginormous skull tattoo. It was a sick tattoo and it's done by this really popular artist in Korea, and she actually has her YouTube channel. I don't know if she will ever come across this video and if she would even recognize the tattoo, but I would like to tell her that I'm not removing it because I don't like the design. I love the design, like really, but I think I chose the wrong place to get it. It's just so visible and it's so big and intimidating, and you can't really see it in full. Like you have to rotate your arm. Like I always had to rotate my arm to show the full image. I think I would have loved it if I had it on my side, but my stupid younger self decided to get it on her arm. So sadly, it's gone. And my final, very last tattoo. This one contains a heavy topic, so I'm gonna put out a warning. If you guys are sensitive about the topic of depression and all the fun things that comes with it, skip to this part of the video, and I'll see you guys a bit later. Bye. My final last ever tattoo were these lines that I had across my fingers. It was a horrible one, but just hear me out. It may sound kind of demonic or kind of odd, but I did those myself. I just got the supplies from Amazon and I drew a straight line. I tried to draw a straight line using a ruler and with a ballpoint pen, which is probably so not hygienic, but I just did it anyways, and I stick and poked my fingers. So this happened like right before I had a leave of absence to get diagnosed and get treated with my mental health problems. And looking back, I think it was a form of self-harm. But at that time, I didn't think of it that way. I just really wanted these finger tattoos, and I never went outside. Like, I stayed home for like a good month. And I just wanted something to like feel. I think some of you guys might know what I'm trying to say. Like, I just wanted to feel something that, because I wanted to get tattoos, but then I didn't want to leave the apartment, so I just decided to do it myself. And stick and pokes are kind of tricky because you're inevitably gonna have like spaces between your pokes, so you have to go over it at least once, I believe. But I went over like 4 times to make sure that it comes out as a line instead of like a dotted line. So that's basically the timeline. This whole thing happened in a span of 2 years. And now let's talk about why I got them in the first place. So this may come off as trauma dumping, but it explains why I got them, like my intention behind getting all these scary tattoos. So get your popcorn, get your tea, whatever you need to get comfortable, because this is gonna get deep. So back in the day, like ever since I can remember anything, I was super shy. Super shy to a point where I couldn't order myself a drink at a restaurant. I would always have to tell my parents or my sister to order it for me. Saying no was just impossible, and me speaking my mind is no. That's a no-go zone. So in a way, you could say that I was easy to manipulate, I was easy to get tossed around, and even if you were being mean to me, nothing would really happen. Like, I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't even tell anyone that I was, getting bullied. Like, I couldn't even tell my parents that I was getting mistreated by my friends and like people around me. So I basically kind of bottled up my feelings. So there are a lot of instances, like traumatic instances, where people basically took advantage of me, and I would do nothing but suppress all the emotions that I felt to kind of forget about it, forget that that ever existed. But if you're not treating your emotions and you're just pushing it down, bottling up your feelings, it's not actually gone. Like, you still have that negative emotions there, you're just not like looking at it. So my younger self thought that having all these scary big tattoos would create this false sense of security, some protection from all these people taking advantage of me. That doesn't make sense, you know, even now thinking back, like it doesn't make sense, but I know back then it made total sense for me in my head. So that's why I started to get tattoos at a very young age, and why I decided to remove them. Obviously, I'm not getting it all removed. I'm getting like a few of them removed. So as I've grown older, you know, my brain is less mushy. And I'm like, through therapy and everything, obviously I've learned a lot about myself specifically. And I don't think in that two-dimensional way anymore. Like, I know that getting like tattoos are not gonna change my life. And that obviously played some role in it, you know, me growing out of my puberty brain. But also, these images kind of triggered those bad memories, because it's so visible, especially this big one. It's so visible that everything that happened, you know, during the time I got this tattoo were constantly being reminded every time I just look at myself in the mirror. So that was not good. Then that kind of trigger turned into embarrassment and kind of turned into being self-conscious. So I think for a while I only wore long sleeves, even in summer when it's humid and hot and sticky and gross. I wore long sleeves because I was just so self-conscious and embarrassed about it that I had to cover it up as much as possible. Obviously, Korea being very conservative still, I know there are a lot of people with tattoos in public in Korea, but majority is still conservative. Like, they connect the dot of tattoo to, you know, criminals or people in gangs. I also noticed that I was getting all these unnecessary attention when I had my full tattoo showing out. People were always asking me questions, like even random strangers were just coming up to me and asking questions, especially 아저씨들. They're so nosy. That those comments, those unnecessary comments and attention were, you know, piling up on the self-conscious box and embarrassment box. So I just didn't want to deal with that. I made the decision to get it removed in 2020 because I felt like with bad things gone, I would be free and actually happy. Like, I wouldn't be reminded of all those bad things and I can just move forward. Like, I don't have to look back. So I know that was a long backstory with a timeline and everything, but now we're in the meat of this video, the removal process. So how does it work? I got mine removed in Korea, so I can only speak based on that and my experience. But I feel like the removal, like the actual laser removal, like technique is probably the same everywhere, but don't quote me on that. The gist of it is that it's expensive, it hurts like a mother, and it takes a long time to get it completely removed. My experience in Korea, they measured my tattoos with a business card that was kind of like the standard size measuring tool for the tattoos, for the image-based tattoos. And for lettering works, they just use a ruler. So the price varies depending on how big, how many business cards are needed to cover up that tattoo. For me, I would say it costs about 5 times more than what I paid to get it like tatted up. According to my doctor, it's easier and faster to get just black ink removed than color ink tattoos because how the whole laser removal works is that they shoot the laser into the tattoo to break up the ink particles inside your skin, and rest of the work is done by your body, like your white blood cells and everything, to disintegrate, basically. He said that color ink, it's difficult to break it down and it takes a while to break it down. And thankfully I don't have any color tattoos. And pain-wise, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are interested in the pain. They do apply numbing cream in Korea, and they also give you these little ice packs to place on top right before they do the lasers, to really, really numb out your skin. And they give you this sense of hope that, oh, you're not gonna feel anything, right? But no, you feel every single thing. Numbing cream doesn't do anything. Ice don't do anything. They do nothing. So just do it because, you know, it's free, but after 5 seconds of the laser treatment, you're gonna feel everything. And I would say I have a very high pain tolerance. Getting these tattoos didn't hurt or anything. But this one, removing, I taste blood in my mouth. Every time I get it lasered off, I don't know why. Maybe the skin burning inside is like traveling through my veins and like coming into my mouth. I don't know. But I always taste blood whenever I get it removed, and my legs shake uncontrollably. It's so bad. The closest thing I can imagine pain-wise is someone just stabbing and kind of cutting out the shape of your tattoo with like an X-Acto knife, like something sharp. And every time I hesitate in front of the hospital, like, should I go in? Should I just say that I'm sick and I just go back? Because I honestly don't want to go through that pain every month. It's a once a month thing. So every month it was just so painful. It was so scary. But I still have more to do, so yay. Now I'm gonna add some photos of what it looks like right after the procedure. So if you guys are not good at looking at anything yucky, then skip here. And if you still wanna like listen to it but not look at the images, I'll give you 3 seconds to pull up like a different window. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So right after you're done with the laser, like the doctor just left, right? It looks like Rice Krispies. I'm not lying. It looks like Rice Krispies. And the nurses apply ointment and they cover it up with gauze, and they tell you to take it off after an hour. And they prescribe you some, I believe, anti-inflammatory meds, and a little ointment to be applied as many times as possible during the day. But I usually applied it once in the morning and once before I went to bed, because when I go outside during the day, I always put gauzes and bandages. So my morning ointment doesn't really go anywhere throughout the day. So I just have to wash it at night after shower and apply a fresh one. And for the first 5 sessions, bandages, gauzes, and painkillers are your best friends. Maybe because it's like the beginning of the removal. There's so much bruising, so much pain, and also so much pus. The pus is the difficult part because it gets really, really, really big, like really big all over. And they tell you if it gets too big for you to handle, just come to the doctor's office and the nurses kind of pop it and treat it for you. But I am a picker and a popper, so I just did it myself. Like I you know, had all the tools like those sanitary needles that you see the dermatologists use on your face, and like everything I needed, so I just did it myself. It gets too big to a point where anything that it just slides, like a fabric or your clothes or something, it's gonna leave stain. It's gonna leave pus stains. So make sure to like always kind of cover it up unless you're at home. Especially when you're sleeping at night, I usually tend to apply some gauzes because the pus will definitely pop as you sleep and it's gonna stain your bed sheets. And that's kind of the gross part. Other than that, the pain, oh my God, the pain afterwards is pretty bad. If anyone like slightly grabs it, even like the tiniest bit, you can feel the pain. It hurts so bad. And you're gonna have bruising, it's gonna turn red and all that good stuff. It swells up a little bit too. So you always need to have painkillers by your side. And bandages are kind of optional, but I just like to wrap it around for 2 reasons. First, I just didn't really dig the whole white gauze kind of covering half my arm. So I applied bandages that are kind of similar to my skin color so that I can cover up that white gauze. But also, I think the pressure from these bandages help with the pain a little bit because it's swollen and bruised and it hurts. You can feel the heartbeat. I don't know if it's a thing, but you feel the heartbeat. So with the bandages on and with the pressure, it feels a little bit better. And this past July was my 7th session out of 10. And this is what it looks like. It gets pretty itchy after a while. I think by the last 2 weeks of the month, it gets pretty itchy because of the healing and everything. You get scabs. And I think I scratched a little bit at night when I was sleeping, and I guess I picked on some of the scabs, and those are the places where you can see kind of the white scarring area, and it's a little bumpy, so I probably have to get another scar laser removal later on, but that's way out in the future, so I don't have to worry about that now. I just want it to be completely gone. That was all of my personal experiences that I wanted to share on the reasons why I got tattoos and the reasons why I removed them. I'm not saying that tattoos are bad in this video. That's not the point of this video, obviously. I think tattoos are so cool. People with really sick tattoos are so cool. I'm not saying that, oh, you're gonna regret it, so like don't get them. I'm not saying that. It's more like be smarter about it than me. Just put me as an example of a failed tattoo lover and just learn from that and don't make the same mistakes that I did. Some of the recommendations that I have is that get your tattoos on places where you can't really see that well. So for example, this flower, even if I wear short sleeves, you can barely see. You can maybe see the stems a little bit, but unless I like lift it up, you're not gonna see that whole tattoo. Or even this one, I honestly forget I even have this tattoo. I always get reminded by people like, oh, you had a tattoo there. I'm like, I do? And then I like look at it and it's there. And I think those things, like places where you can't really see that well, but is visible when you do pay attention, I think those places are like the ideal places for tattoos. I think little tattoos here and there are also really pretty. So don't go full on out like I did. Really think about it and then get it done. Honestly, I'm so thankful that I have a really supportive parents and that they were so happy to be funding my tattoo removal. Like obviously they're conservative Korean parents. So I'm thankful for that, but if I didn't have their support, I think I would have been so devastated. Like, I would still be hating myself, you know, until now, like almost 2023. So that is all I have to say in this video. I hope this video was somewhat informative, even if you're, you know, even if you don't have tattoos and you have no plans to getting them. And if you have any other questions, you know, regarding tattoos or the removal of it, ask away. And thank you again for coming back and watching my videos. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!